Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everybody. You're tuning into the Woodward Sports Network, featured on the Roar 93.5 FM and 99.1 FM and 94.7 HD2. Happy Monday, you guys. I know it is tough to be happy this Monday, especially if you are a Lions fan. Dear God, was that game absolutely brutal. I think we all thought that the Lions were going to take their first dub this week against the Bears, and wow, was it the exact opposite of that or what? But you guys don't want to hear it from me. You want to hear it from these guys. Jeff and Adam, good morning.
Good morning, Kennedy. How are you?
The Lions lost to the Bears 24-14, Adam. I know you have a lot to say, but I'm going to save you for later. So, Jeff, I want to start with you. What are your reactions to this game? Were you happy with how it played out? Well, probably not. But, just break it all down for me.
Yeah, well, as a Lions fan, I'm disappointed, obviously. I had the Lions winning pretty comfortably, maybe by a score. But my idea was that Justin Fields would at least still be uncomfortable. You have to understand that, rookie quarterbacks – against the Lions, we don't have the best of luck. You can go back to Sam Darnold with Matt Patricia, but I was very surprised. They came out, they ran obviously with David Montgomery. They simplified the game plan for Justin Fields, which we expected Matt Nagy to do, and to his success, it worked. We couldn't stop the run per usual, and it opened up so much more for Justin Fields. He was able to go and use the play-action pass, use his legs a little bit, make some beautiful throws. He made a beautiful throw to I think it's Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney.
Beautiful throw. Wow. I think it was like 30, 40 yards. But the moral of the game is anytime you ask Jared Goff to throw the ball 40 times, your chances of winning significantly decrease. The Lions so far, up to week 4, have displayed 3 halves of football with 0 points in this 2021 season. And it's just inconsistency. That's the word of the Detroit Lions. You saw it with the Packers. You're scoring 14 in the first half, or 17, excuse me, not scoring the rest of the game. The Ravens just kind of mowing along, not really scoring anything the first half. And then you have the San Francisco game, and they were down 38-10, and then you know what happened after that. So it's really just inconsistency, and you can blame it on having a young team. But at the end of the day, it's by week 4, you want to see something being figured out. You want to see you saw the defense started to figure out things against the Ravens, but come on, man. The Chicago Bears, who just came off their worst performance of the season against the Browns offensively, and it sucks. We couldn't capitalize. Obviously, we have a lot of injuries. It doesn't help losing a handful of starters before the halfway of the season. You have Jeff Okudah down. Frank Ragnow went down after that butt fumble of a snap. And then you had Romeo Okwara out with an Achilles injury, we believe. So prayers up to him. But you have a team that's, already lacking talent, and then you have injuries come into play, and then you have some questionable coaching decisions. It's not a good mix. The Lions are 0-4. I'm not really surprised. I will point out some positives though. Amon-Ra St. Brown looked good, and we were waiting on him to have a game like this. I think it was 8 for 70, I believe. So that is what we expect out of Amon-Ra. This wide receiver core is still lacking. You have Khalif Raymond scoring 2 of your touchdowns. I don't know if that's a positive thing or a negative thing, considering he has more yards this year with the Lions than he does his entire career. So good for him. But Quintez looked good. They couldn't get Swift going early. Jamal held it down until they eventually just completely shied away from the run. They were terrible in the red zone, which I was surprised with. I understand this team's lacking talent, but they were perfect in the red zone up until this point against playoff caliber teams. So in my opinion, coming into the Chicago Bears, they'd still have success in the red zone. I think they were 0 for 4 in the red zone up until they scored late in the game. So it was absolutely horrid. They couldn't capitalize when they got down the field. If you look at the stat sheet, you'd be fooled. Obviously, the Bears had 7 penalties to the Lions 4. The Bears threw an interception, but other than that, they were just able to capitalize. Justin Fields did a good job game managing. Even when David Montgomery went down, the Lions still, at that point, they went down the field, and we'll talk about it later, choosing to go forward on 4th and 1. But there were some frustrating coaching decisions late in the game that I didn't agree with. We'll talk about later. But overall, disappointed because you expected this team, they go 0-3, but they're on at least a little bit of a rise, and then you just get smacked in the mouth at away at Soldier Field by the Chicago Bears. So frustrated, but that's how I'm feeling this Monday morning.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so where to start? Frustrated, I don't think is the right word. You shouldn't be frustrated.
Well, what's my feelings?
You've seen this now for 4 weeks. Quote-unquote aggressive play calling.
Yeah.
Before I get to late game decisions on not taking the 3 points there and making it a one-possession game. If you just looked at the box score, well, everything is amazing. Jared Goff threw for 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. You had more plays than the Bears. You controlled the clock. You had more first downs. You had more yards through the air. You committed less penalties. My goodness, the things you can walk away with if you just didn't watch the game of football and looked at the box score after and were like, played a good game. Your quarterback fumbled the ball 3 times. Your quarterback. You don't win games in the NFL committing turnovers, let alone your quarterback making the same mistake 3 times in a single game. That's unbelievable. The Lions' first 3 drives. Do you guys know what happened? Should I remind you? Fumble, turnover on downs. That is the first time. Usually when things happen and it hasn't happened for a long time, it's usually a good thing. Like, wow, this team accomplished this, the first team to do it since like 1995. And of course, the Lions managed to do something no team has done since 1993, which is their first 3 possessions resulting in 2 fumbles and a turnover on downs. That's quite impressive. This is the 3rd time now this season in 4 games that the Lions have been shut out in either the first or second half of a football game. It's the 3rd straight week that it's happened. Guys, what are we doing this morning? Are you really mad that you lost? Or are you mad that you actually had the expectation that this team was so much better than the Bears? We should stomp the Bears. Who are you to say that? How? The Chicago Bears have won now 6 of the last 7 meetings between the Detroit Lions. How? How are you as a fan? How do you sleep at night actually thinking it's okay? Like, it's the Bears. It's the Bears, guys. Last I checked, they've won 6 of the last 7 games that you've played against the Bears. You were 0-4 against Mitchell Trubisky. Come on, guys. Be better. Be a little better than this. Now, to move on into the game, how it unfolded. Justin Fields didn't beat you. He didn't have this amazing game. He made some really good throws downfield. But he made maybe 4 or 5 really good throws. And that was it. You got ran over completely. You shut down Allen Robinson to 3 catches for 63 yards. But I say shut down by being very cautious here. Because Chicago could do whatever they wanted in the run game. And that's what they did. They ran all over you. And of course, you become greedy before halftime. You go for it. Oh, you don't get it. There goes points. You go down 14-0. They come out. They score a touchdown. You got a punt. Down 21-0. Then you finally go down and get your offense going. You score a touchdown. Like, it's hard enough to win in the NFL. Let's just admit that. Forget if they're a good or bad football team. It's already hard enough to win in the NFL. It's even more difficult when you turn the ball over, you leave points on the board, and most importantly, you waste opportunities. Guys, yes, and we're going to talk much more about the 4th and 1 play call, the analytics surrounding it. We'll get to that a little later. But just like takeaways from this game. This is a team that should be losing to the Bears. Excuse me. The Bears have a more competent defense. They have more pieces. And really, if you look offensively, the Lions should be moving the ball better than they did.
Yeah.
And they should be converting their drives into points more often. Guys, I said this before the season started. And please pay very close attention here. It's easy to be aggressive when you play with 0 expectations. And when the expectation is we're in a rebuild, it's so easy to stand on the sideline as a head coach and say, I'm just going to go for it, always on 4th down. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm changing the culture. You know, Dan, being aggressive is great, but you change the culture by winning over a substantial amount of time, consistently. Same old Lions doesn't go away because you go on the road and beat Chicago. Excuse me. It doesn't go away by you going on the road and beating Minnesota. Excuse me. It happens over a 6, 8, 10-year period where the Detroit Lions aren't finishing 3-13, 3-14, 5-12, 6-11, 4-13. You get out of that same old culture by winning consistently. This is year one of a rebuild. Cool. It's already a pass. I've said this multiple times. But how dare you sit up there after your games making coaching decisions? I promise you, you got to make the right decision every time, okay? And when you want to be aggressive, I'm cool with it. I'm okay with my head coach being aggressive. I empower my head coaches to do that. I think it's a really good thing, especially if you believe in your offensive unit. Great, go for it. But on a 4th and 1, you're going to give the ball to Jared Goff. That's your best player. What you told me is you believe in Jared Goff that much, that instead of kicking a field goal to make it a one-possession game with 2 timeouts and over 4 minutes left in the game, where you could afford to allow 1 or 2 first downs and still get the ball back, that's what you decided to do. Okay, that's fine, coach. Be aggressive. But remember when I say this, it's easy to be aggressive when there are 0 expectations. Nobody's freaking out on Dan Campbell this morning, nor should they. But you should be questioning it. You really should. You really should. This aggressive play calling mindset doesn't work when Jared Goff is your quarterback. When you refuse on 4th and short to run the ball with one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. It doesn't work. And you look really dumb doing it. So I could really pile on if I wanted to, but sorry. This is what I expected. So I'm not going to sit over here and overreact.
Who did you pick at Big Boy?
A game prediction is meaningless. I did think the Lions had more momentum, but I did say that the Bears had more to lose and that I found it very difficult for Chicago to lose this game. Like, you have to understand the implications of it. If Chicago would have lost,
but
Matt Nagy would be out of town. No, please, listen to that. This is the same model that we discussed with the Seahawks going on the road and Kansas City playing the Eagles.
Right.
KC wasn't falling to 1-3, and neither was Seattle. And neither did
Minnesota had to win a game. They didn't. So it
Minnesota
doesn't matter.
Played one of the best teams in the NFL.
My point is, it's not about, I get it, they had more to lose, but at the end of the day, Justin Fields had his only good game of the season against us. That was his, second start, I believe, or third start?
His second start.
Second start. It's not even just the momentum. Like, I believe the Lions should have won because of, hey, listen, you got a guy who hasn't even found his way in the NFL yet, and I get it. They simplified the game plan for him, but that's why I picked the Lions. They just, the Chicago Bears defense is no joke, but listen, man, if Justin Fields is going to play like that, if I knew that beforehand, listen, he looked good. He looked dang good, but
he looked okay. He was average. Again, guys, the Detroit Lions, are an average football team. They're actually below average. And then you went into Chicago and you just got kicked in the mouth. That's it. What are you going to do? Move on. It's a bad football team. You're going to lose a lot of games this year. Right. I'm going to have to sit up here on Mondays most of the season and say the Detroit Lions lost, and I'm going to deliver that message like it's not shocking news here. And I'm not going to get mad. What I refuse to do, though, is let Dan Campbell just slip by now because I'm giving him a year. I really am. But my man, you can't be making consistent, awful decisions like you have the last 2 weeks. Baltimore, you had an opportunity to go win the game. Mm-hmm. When's the last time anybody remembers Detroit going out and winning the football game? That is a good sign for culture. Going for the first down on 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10, whatever the situation played out to be, going to get a first down against Baltimore, taking a knee, kicking a field goal to end the game was the aggressive, culture-changing call. Going for it on 4th and 1, we'll talk about after the break. Kennedy?
Yeah, like Adam said, we're going to talk about that 4th and 1 call when we come back. But before we go, we need to hear about our friends over at Northwestern Tech.
Listen, if you know anybody, or yourself included, that needs to start a job at a trade school, you go to Northwestern Tech because they hire guys. They help guys get hired right out of school for about $70,000 per year. So start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Welcome back, everyone. You're tuning into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Happy to have you here. It's Monday. It's pretty yucky out right now, but you know what? So was that game and this call. I can't even make this make sense in my head. We were down 2 scores. We were down by 10 points, and we give the ball to Jared Goff. And I would have kicked the field goal, and I know if you follow me on Twitter, you know this already, but I need to hear it from Adam. Adam, what would you have done?
You take the 3 points.
Thank you.
Analytics, guys, believe me, I saw the same analytics you did. You had a 5% more likely to win opportunity by going for it. Not even converting, just going for it on 4th down. You had a 64% chance of succeeding on 4th and 1. And, of course, they call the out route to the sideline on 4th and 1. Not a QB sneak, and it wasn't even 4th and 1. It was maybe 4th and a half yard, maybe even less. You don't call a QB sneak. You don't run the ball with Jamal Williams or DeAndre Swift. And, you know, I don't want to sit here and question the play call because I feel like that's the easy way out for Dan Campbell today. You take the 3 points. You make it a 1-possession game. There's over 4 minutes left in the game, my friend. And what does that mean? Do I remember correctly? Maybe my eyes are deceiving me. But last I checked, the Lions had 2 timeouts, which means they could afford 1, 2, and maybe even 3 first downs to give up, given the circumstance of how they gave them up. And you decided that it was better it was a gut feeling. It was a gut feeling, Dan Campbell. I hope you never trust your gut again, my friend. Forget the play call. Forget the execution of it. Yes, Cephas was open over the middle. Yes, he should have hit Amon-Ra on the side. Well, you know what? They didn't. And when you have an offense that hasn't been executing in the red zone, you have the nerve to not take the 3 points and give your team an opportunity. May I remind you, in the second half, you gave up a touchdown, a punt. You forced the Bears they scored. You forced them to punt. They got a field goal. You forced them to punt. Your chances were they were going to run the ball and be conservative with Daniel Williams or Damian Williams, excuse me, and they were going to try to get a first down or 2, 3 to ice the game. And you still would have gotten the ball with no timeouts, but if we know anything about the NFL, in today's NFL especially, you can move the ball downfield pretty quickly. Yes, it'll be more difficult with no timeouts to get into the end zone. I completely agree. But you give your team a chance. Maybe if you didn't go for it before the first half ended, you wouldn't have to have made that decision.
Right.
Maybe you would have made a different decision. Maybe it would have been a QB sneak. Maybe it would have been a run. But why you're dropping back and making Jared Goff throw more than 35 times every single game is beyond me, especially when you have a very good offensive line, DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams. You ran the ball 4 times in the second half with those 2 backs. 4 times. Of course, Adam, they were down 21-0. They have to throw the ball. Well, no. Wow, what a surprise. Like, I haven't been telling you all year they're going to be down. You guys can point to analytics all you want. Then, Jeff, I'm curious what you think, but the right decision was to make it a 1-score game because that's all you could control. Now, they could have drove down and got a field goal at him, then the game would have been over. Okay, even if I give you that. You still didn't convert. And let's say you did. The clock's ticking, guys. Clock's ticking. You're not using your timeouts.
Right.
So you don't know how long it'll take you to even get into the end zone. You don't know if it takes another 10 seconds or another minute and a half. So don't play the what-if situations with me. We're talking about what happened. And what happened was the head coach of the Detroit Lions football team decided they had a better chance of winning by going for it on fourth and one than taking the 3 points and making it a one-possession game. Now, let's play hypothetical. Let's say the Lions kick the field goal, they go down, they stop the Bears, they go down and score. If Dan Campbell lines up and goes for 2, I would be the biggest supporter, even if they failed it. Try and win a game for once, instead of trying not to lose it. That would be a good start in the right direction, in my opinion. You had your first chance against Baltimore, and of course, you shied away. Oh, we played the analytics. Where were the analytics on this one?
Right.
You had a 94% chance of converting that field goal. You had a 54% chance of getting the ball back. Where are the analytics now? 1 week it's analytics and I'm an idiot. The next week, oh no, it's his gut. Adam, you're an idiot. Get over yourselves. Honestly, get over yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely not. You kick the field goal every single time. I'm not even going to try and challenge you on it because when Jared Goff connected with Amon-Ra St. Brown to give them that 4th and 1 situation, I think it was 4:19 left in the clock, and they were down 14-24. As soon as you see David Montgomery go down, the guy who's been making Justin Fields' job a lot easier, listen, you either give it to Jamal Williams in 4th and 1 or you kick the field goal, regardless. If you kick the field goal, you got 4 minutes left. Justin Fields has to go downfield and try and get either 3 or 7 on you without David Montgomery, and I like our chances. I think the drive previously, we were able to get to Justin Fields, we pushed them back like 20 yards. The defense was starting to sort of play well, but you saw what Jared Goff can do against a San Francisco trailing late in the game. The Chicago Bears defense, listen, if you kick a field goal and you give them a one-score game, now, if they kick a field goal in I believe the first quarter, it's even less than that. But regardless, if they kick a field goal at the 4-minute mark, this game becomes that much more reachable and winnable. The fact that you went for it on 4th and 1, and I could care less. You've seen the film. Amon-Ra St. Brown was open. I get it. Quintez Cephas was open. The point is, Anthony Lynn, or Dan Campbell more importantly, decided 4th and 1 with the game on the line. You're going to put the ball in Jared Goff's hands on 4th and 1. When I get it, you don't want to run down the clock, but I would.
Are you trying to win football games?
That's the question.
Honestly, you look like a clown. You actually do. This is ridiculous. Are you trying to win football games, or are you just trying to mess with people? It's not a game. This actually is not a game. Your job is being evaluated based on big-time decisions that you're making. And so far, bud, you're 0-2. I could even argue 0-3. Mm-hmm. Heck, if I want to include the other 4th down calls he's made, I can say 0 for 5, 0 for 6. It's easy to go for it on 4th down week 1 against San Francisco. We got nothing to lose. San Francisco's in town. It's easy to go for it on 4th down in Green Bay. Hey, we're in Lambeau. We're trying to win.
You know what's frustrating is, like, against Baltimore, you call the timeout, you want your guys to regroup, and you still get beat on a 4th and 19. In this game, they go for it on 4th and 1. They fail, and Dan Campbell goes, listen, I want to trust my gut. I wish we would have got time to huddle, get my guys huddled, and really. You
had a timeout.
Yeah. And the challenge, I'm just want to get to the challenge real quick. Didn't agree with the challenge. You lost the timeout at that point, and it was a clear as day catch. So that is a couple decisions I didn't agree with, and the field goal should have been kicked.
Welcome to being a head coach in the NFL. And I'm sorry, being a head coach in the NFL, and maybe you guys don't want to hear this morning, coming off a loss. But last I checked, being a head coach in the NFL isn't just being the nice guy in the locker room, the guy that everybody loves to play for. People love to play for Mike Tomlin. People love to play for Pete Carroll. I want to just show me the boneheaded decisions there. People, guys, the way you fix your culture is by winning. I'm not one to say that this is a winning football team year 1. No. And I'll judge. Dan Campbell will have his judgment day with me by Thanksgiving of next year, and I'll make a decision on him. But come on, this is too much now. This is too much. In my opinion, this is too much. You want to be aggressive. I can respect being aggressive. There's a difference between being aggressive and stupid. And my friend, what you saw on Sunday was stupid. It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't analytical based. Just throw your analytics. Now, again, I could defend the analytics side. Hey, we had a 64% chance of converting the 4th and 1. It increased our odds by 5% of winning the game. It would have set us up with 1st and goal, 4 opportunities to get a touchdown. Like, I get it. But you're held accountable not only for the decisions you make, but the outcome of your decisions. And it's not going to cost him his job in year one. They can go 0-17. I won't be sitting up here freaking out. It's cool. I'm not worried, but this is a team that's going to win a few football games this year. If anything of that, they'll win 2 to 4, maybe even 5 if they just go on a hot streak. But I don't see anything more than that. It's not a great football team. The defense has improved. It has improved, and it's down a lot of its core players. How funny is that? And Jeff Okudah has a torn Achilles, right? He's out for the year. I don't want to address the Jeff Okudah situation because he's injured, and I want to give him a pass. And I really don't, but I kind of have to. But there's a guy in Dallas who was a second-round pick that is the best secondary player in the NFL right now. He leads the league in interceptions.
Hey, I got him.
And I don't want to say his name. I'll bring it up in our next topic. But I'm just saying, drafting a corner, number 3 overall. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look, I'm not sure where I want to sit on this, honestly. Like, part of me absolutely hates the decision because it lacks all the common sense in the world. And then I can look at the analytics and say, well, okay, if they're strictly going based off analytics, I see why they made the call. But he sat up there and said it was a gut feeling. He sat up there and actually said it was a gut feeling. It was a gut feeling to put the ball in a bridge quarterback's hands.
Yeah,
that was your gut feeling?
It was
the guy that missed throws to the sideline all game. You call an out route for him to hit Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know he needs to drive into that ball. You know he needs to take a step forward and drive into it. He doesn't need to just turn and fire off the hip. That's why it sailed. He didn't drive into the ball. He didn't drive into the throw. That's what you called? That's what you called? Jamal Williams averaging 4.7 yards a carry. Swift averaging 2 at least. 2 is enough to get you on 4th and 1. Call a quarterback sneak. Jared Goff is that incompetent he can't sneak the ball half a yard? Get us out of here, Kennedy.
Okay. All right, well, coming up, it's Monday, so we've got our overreactions coming up next. But before we go, we need to hear about our friends over at MyBookie, which they came through.
Oh, my goodness.
Adam told me.
I made money.
Yeah,
this weekend.
Adam made money, and he made me money. So thank you, Adam.
I did make a lot of
MyBookie.
people at O'Toole's money. I believe, 4 people took my bets at O'Toole's outside of the conversation. But regardless, guys, MyBookie is the place to be at, especially during football season. I took the Giants. I took the Jets. And I definitely took, who, the Bears to cover. Unfortunately, it resulted in a Lions loss, but I did make money, so I can't be mad at that. MyBookie is the only sportsbook that offers online super contests, so you can't miss out on their exclusive promotions. Enter now and turn $10 into $10,000. Bet from anywhere, anytime using the MyBookie website. Visit mybookie.com. Sign up today using code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit up to 50%. We'll see you after the break.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Welcome back, everybody. You're tuning into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. All right, these guys have quite a few overreactions ready for you. So, you guys, let's go back and forth like we always do. But, Jeff, let's start with your overreaction number 1.
Listen, well, this isn't really much. I guess it's not much of an overreaction because if you're watching the Dallas Cowboys, you would understand. But listen, Trayvon Diggs, which Adam hinted to earlier, I would say right now as my overreaction, he is the best corner in the NFL as of the last 4 weeks. I think he's leading the league in interceptions. Jalen Ramsey only has 1. He's played nice coverage, but Trayvon Diggs is a ball hawk on a Dallas Cowboys team who's trying to rebuild their defense, essentially, and my God, they look good. Second-round pick last year out of Alabama, Stephon Diggs' brother, and yeah, he's coming out, he's locking guys up and helping turn the ball over. So
my overreaction Monday, Jack Johnson is the dumbest person in our YouTube chat ever.
Why do
He
you say
said
that?
Tom Brady could not get a yard with that offensive line. You're telling me Tom Brady Couldn't get
All right, we gotta move.
a yard with this offensive line. My friend, congratulations. My overreaction Monday. The Texans are gonna tie an NFL record for the most losses in a single year. I think they finished the year 1-16. They don't win another game. They are by far the worst roster in the NFL. At least for the Lions, they have an average quarterback. They have nice weapons around him. The defense is average, maybe a little below average, but regardless, you'll win a few games. So it's good for the Lions. They won't get the number 1 overall pick. They'll probably finish anywhere from 2nd to 4th. So that's my overreaction Monday.
You know what I'll say? Dak Prescott. Don't be surprised if he's in that MVP race close behind my pick, Josh Allen, because Dak Prescott's playing some of the best football of his career. We know statistically Dak's going to lead the NFL probably in yards, be up there in touchdowns. He doesn't turn the ball over much in terms of interceptions, so it's going to look good on the stat sheet. Can he win games with the Dallas Cowboys? And I just mentioned Trayvon Diggs earlier. If they get this defense right, Dallas Cowboys are going to win the NFC East. Can they win a playoff game? And listen, if the Cowboys finish with 12 wins, if around that number, I like Dak Prescott's chances. Obviously, they have to be around the Bills record-wise, but I love Dak Prescott, man. He is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Saquon Barkley will win Comeback Player of the Year. I am so happy for him.
Oh, yeah.
My early pick and the obvious pick was Dak because he's a quarterback. He's going to put up the numbers. But, man, Saquon Barkley, if he can play half of how he played against New Orleans over the weekend, I would like his chances of winning Comeback Player of the Year. My favorite overreaction from the weekend, Ohio State will not win the Big Ten this year. Book it. Ohio State will not win the Big Ten this year. I think the Big Ten champion ends up with potentially 1, maybe even 2 losses this year. Big Ten's got 6 teams, I believe, ranked in the top 11.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Looked great this
Unbelievable. Big Ten looks good this year.
My next overreaction is, you know what? We mutually agree the Rams were, the best team in the NFL, but my overreaction is the Arizona Cardinals are going to win the NFC West. And they've already beaten the leaders of the NFC West. They lead the division by a landslide in points scored, amongst the lowest in points allowed. So on both sides of the ball, they're unbelievably stacked. They've been sneaking by some guys, but nonetheless, they're undefeated, and they've beat already once the Los Angeles Rams. So I have them winning the division, but they could still have a Pittsburgh Steelers meltdown. Who knows? But as of right now, it's called Overreaction Monday for a reason.
Arizona?
Yeah.
Oof. Okay, I gotta say,
NFC West.
no, it's fine. It's fair. They're 4-0. They look really good. They answered my contender-pretender question. They looked really good on Sunday. The way they schemed for Cooper Kupp really threw off the Rams. It was so obvious early on. Cooper Kupp had 13 targets, only 5 receptions. Robert Woods was limited throughout the whole game. Deshaun Jackson, Vance Jefferson, if Cooper Kupp's not involved in that offense heavily and he's not producing,
you're done.
Good luck. Stafford was 1 of 4 throwing the ball downfield. 1 interception, 35 yards. And his only completion, of course, what a shocker, to Cooper Kupp downfield. Rams got to get more creative. I'm not going to overreact to their loss, though. They lost to a good football team. Wait, what? Adam said he felt the first 10 games were losers and might win 2. What? And might win 2 in the last 5 weeks of the season? What? Dude, speak English. What is Darren McCarty even talking to these people about? Am I missing something?
No.
Am I
Darren's
missing
always
something?
sticking up for you. Don't even worry about it.
Park,
Darren's
what's his name? DL Bark? Just leave the chat, man. Just shut up. You're an idiot, honestly. You're an idiot. You're actually an idiot. Me saying that the Lions are going to win 2 to 4 games it means I'm backtracking on what I said. That means they're an awful team.
Yeah.
If they
We've
win
always said that.
If they win 2 to 4 football games, they're an awful team, man.
When did we say otherwise?
You know what I'm mad about is that everyone here convinced me that the Lions were going to beat the Bears this weekend, and I had said on the midday show forever ago that our first win would be on Halloween. And then, you know what? All you turds had me changing my mind.
At this rate, your first win may not even come until maybe Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Bengals are going to beat them, I think. I mean, the Bengals look good.
Well,
man.
they got Minnesota up next. Minnesota is no pushover.
No.
You can look at their record
That's a
and say,
loss.
wow, they're only 1 game better than us. But no, they're a much better football team.
They're a tough team, man.
They just played the Browns really. They have had a difficult schedule.
Yeah.
The Lions, yes, they played a Niners team. Yes, they played the Packers. Yes, they played the Ravens. Ravens are down half their backfield, if not all of it. Now you play Chicago, who's starting a rookie quarterback. His only second start, and you don't sack him more than once. Come on. Come on. That you guys, you gotta live with the fact that this team is not good. And I have no idea what half of Twitter was going off about yesterday. And I gotta address something. I'm sorry. It's not overreaction Monday, Kennedy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But Herman Moore, I've never wanted to rip somebody's head off in my life more than I wanted to.
Didn't agree with this tweet
on Herman Moore. Him saying that not only did they make the right decision by not going for the field goal, making it a one-possession game, coming from a former NFL player, an all-pro, mind you. But it was the right call, and that Amon-Ra St. Brown was responsible for not breaking out earlier. Okay, let's play the what-if game, Herman, and let's say that everything you just said is somewhat true. How would you feel if he did throw the ball on the money, since you want to play what-ifs with me, and Amon-Ra St. Brown dropped it? Or he bobbled it? Guys, the reality is you make it a one-possession game. You make it a one-possession game. You had 3 opportunities prior to get the first down or get in the end zone. You failed to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really wanted to score a touchdown, you make an adjustment call at the line of scrimmage. You call 2 plays. The quarterback sneak and that play that you called already out of the gun. Goff lines up under center. If he doesn't like what he sees, he moves back in the shotgun formation and he calls the play. At least show me that you're kind of thinking about what could happen and what couldn't happen. Honestly, what is your complaint about yesterday, Adam? You should shut up. They suck. I agree with you, but ripping them for losing is the double standard. You're an idiot because I'm not ripping them for losing. Nobody's ripping them for losing. You're just an idiot. And I'm going to continue to call you an idiot because you're actually an idiot. I wish I knew your actual name. DL Bark, you're an idiot, my friend. No one is ripping them for losing. We expect this team to lose. Maybe if you would open your ears up, that would help you not be an idiot. Because the problem this Monday morning is that Dan Campbell finds himself in another situation where he makes, quote unquote, an aggressive, analytical-based decision, and it backfires. If you had Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback and Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman on the edge and they're running out routes, I'm game for it. Last I checked, Jared Goff is your quarterback. You don't have a proven wide receiver on your team. Khalif Raymond, everybody raves about the great game he had. He had 3 catches, 2 of which were touchdowns, yes. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6 catches, 70, 80 yards? Come on, guys. The team is void of talent. You don't question our coach. It was the right call.
Just giggled at that.
My friend. I don't question the coach. It was the right call. Okay, let's say I give you that it was the right call. Was the play call correct? Why don't you defend the play call? On 4th and not even a yard. Why don't you defend the play call? You trust Jared Goff. You want me to not question the head coach on this Monday morning because he put the ball in Jared Goff's hands through the air? He was shaky the entire half. He made a few good throws, yes, I will give him that. But that's been the story of Jared Goff all year. He'll make the throws when it doesn't matter, and when it matters, don't expect much. He's not going to make it. And that's why, again, I find it hilarious, actually, that the week prior, they don't trust Jared Goff enough, right? So I can't question their decisions. They don't trust Jared Goff enough against Baltimore to get a first down, but they trust him against Chicago, 4th and 1.
Right.
So 1 week it's okay, 1 week it isn't, right? You know what? Honestly, this is unbelievable. You don't question your coach. Oh, wait, excuse me, not your coach. You don't question our coach. You're not even just stupid, you're naive. It's even worse. You don't accept reality. Reality is when you make bad decisions, you are held accountable for them. And like I said, I'm not going to judge Dan Campbell year 1. I will not judge him on his job performance, but I will question decisions that he makes. You kidding me? You're going to let Jared Goff on 4th and inches drop back and throw the ball to the sideline, make the throw that he hasn't made all game? All the throws he made were over the middle or through the seam. Those were the plays he was making all game long. And checkdowns, excuse me.
Yeah. When Jamal's getting 5 yards a clip, pretty much.
Guys. it could have been the right call. Booner saying it could have been the right call. If they kick a field goal in the next possession, drive 40 and get stopped, then you're talking about how they should have went for it on 4th and 1. No. I am all for aggressive play calling. But when you are down 2 possessions, you lose the right to be aggressive. And if you're going to be aggressive, at least use conventional play calling. You couldn't have tried to draw him offside, run a quarterback sneak. You don't like the option. They put 2 people over your center. Okay, get it back in the shotgun. Okay. Do something that makes me believe that you actually had a game plan going into that situation. This is what I mean, guys. When I tell you that in late game situations, you need to have every script pre-planned for. You think they had a 4th and 1 play ready? They lie to your face. They're lying to your face if you believe that they had a 4th and 1 down 2 possessions in the goal line play if they had that ready. That's what the great coaches do. They come prepared for every situation. If they don't go for it, Adam, then you're complaining the next day. No, I'm not. I'm actually not. There's no guarantee even if they go for it and they get it, that they get in the end zone. And then you took more time off. If you would have kicked the field goal, you would have had 4 minutes and 2 timeouts. Now, whether or not Chicago goes down and wins the game or they have to punt it back, I don't know. But I know you gave your team a chance, which you didn't give them by going for it on 4th and 1 and not converting and keeping it a 2-possession game. You lost that opportunity. Seriously, get over yourselves. Stop this. Oh, well, Adam, if he didn't do it, you would rip him for that too. Shut up. Everybody is held accountable for their actions and their decisions. And whether you like it or not, Dan Campbell, back-to-back weeks, went against decisions that most head coaches would go for. If you trust Jared Goff so much on 4th and 1, can you explain to me why you didn't trust him on 1st and 10 against Baltimore? Oh, well, Adam, analytics, the timeouts. Well, guys, analytics, the timeouts. The Lions had 2 timeouts. Why is it that analytics only work when you want to call me dumb? Oh, the truth is I'm not actually, you are. We got to go to break.
Yeah. Are you feeling okay?
Oh, I'm great. Anytime I can sit up here and call people idiots or dumb, you know I'm having a good Monday.
Well, I'll just do this fast. My overreaction was, it had to do with college football, but I just really wanted to show the Urban Meyer video. So I'll just make my overreaction that I'm pissed that this wasn't me. Alex, do you have it? I am so salty about this video.
This was years ago. I don't know why this is surfacing. This chick, you know what?
I
gotta defend Urban Meyer here.
Yes, let's
you know
go,
what?
Adam.
No, listen. We gotta go to break, but I'm sorry, Urban Meyer. That was a few years ago, and I'm not saying that it's okay as a family. I don't give a shit about that right now. I'm talking about this chick. She has the nerve. Years later, she probably just found out who Urban Meyer was.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God,
Awesome.
I'm gonna post this and I'm gonna become famous and I'm gonna ruin his family and all this stuff. Shut up.
Oh, poor Urban.
That's so
Gotta
bad.
love him.
So bad.
All right. Well, coming up next, we're going to talk about a Big Ten team, not Ohio State, which Urban was repping.
Can I yell
video.
one more time? I'm sorry.
Please
One more
yell.
time. You went for it already on 4th and goal and 4th and 1 2 times prior, and you failed to do it. Somehow, when the game's on the line, now you become even more confident that you're going to throw the ball with Jared Goff. My friend, God bless you this morning.
Okay. Now that that's out of the way, you guys, we're talking Michigan State coming up next. They are now 5-0. Bless the Lord. Stick around. Hang out with us. We will be back. But first, we need to hear about my friends over at Legacy Partners Insurance. When you watch football games, you guys, you know you're bombarded with ads that are promising to save you money when it comes to your insurance. But if you really want to save money, you need my new sponsor, Legacy Partners Insurance. They're independent, so they shop between 7 and 10 carriers for your insurance to find you the best deal. Here's what I need you to do. Call 586-209-4106 and tell them that Kennedy sent you, not Maz, Kennedy. And just for calling and getting a quote, you will be put in a drawing for a $50 gift card. So call or go to legacypartnersins.com/Woodward today. All right, we'll see you after the break.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back, you guys. You're tuning into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Like I promised, we're going to talk Michigan State. They are now 5-0 with a 48-31 win over Western Kentucky. You guys, what was your reaction to the game and your thoughts on Michigan State starting this season off 5-0? Adam, I want to start with you because I know you predicted this.
I
so
did.
Let's hear it.
I did. I did predict Michigan and Michigan State to start 5-0, so obviously I'm very happy about that prediction. But really, the takeaway here is Michigan State have something on offense. Jalen Reed, I fall in love with more and more every single game. Kenneth Walker, another good, solid game, 3 touchdowns. Peyton Thorne, I have these conversations with a Michigan State friend of mine off air, and I think it's really important to notice that what Peyton Thorne is doing for Michigan State, Jim Harbaugh dreams of Cade McNamara doing for Michigan. Peyton Thorne is such a good decision maker. Like I don't feel like he's gonna lose them games. I feel Cade can lose you a football game. Peyton Thorne yet to show me that he can lose his team a football game. Granted, now you can say it was Western Kentucky, Adam. It was Wisconsin, not Wisconsin, Nebraska. It was Northwestern. Whatever, that's fine. Say what you want. But Michigan State are at 5 wins, 5 games into the year. Honestly, most Michigan State fans thought they'd be anywhere from 5 to 7, and 7 being a very friendly, team-friendly number. Mel Tucker's doing a great job. Nailed the transfer portal, done a good job so far with his recruiting class. He still needs 1 or 2 before you can really give him a fair shot. But I like Peyton Thorne. He has NFL qualities in him. Decision-making. Accuracy, questionable at times. Arm strength downfield, okay, but we can develop that.
Yeah, sophomore.
And if you're looking for a project in the 4th, 5th round, I like Peyton Thorne this morning. I really do. I woke up Sunday morning, and I really slept on it Sunday, and I'm feeling really good about feeling really good about Peyton Thorne. I think he's doing a good job. He may not be blowing people away, but I would prefer him to be steady the way he is and not being overhyped. Oh my goodness, he's just putting up numbers against the bad teams, and once he plays the good teams, he doesn't show up. No, I think you're going to get the same Peyton Thorne against Rutgers, against Michigan, against Northwestern, Miami, doesn't matter. I think you'll get the same guy. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to make good decisions. He's going to know when to check it down. And I got to say, I think if you're a Michigan State fan, you're waking up feeling really good about yourself. Now, whether or not they're the 11th best football team in the nation, I'm not so sure of that. I do have an issue with the AP poll this weekend. We'll get to it a little later. But are they the 11th best football team in the country? No. They're probably 15 to 21 just based off of talent. But their record says otherwise. So they got to be up at 11 just because of their record. I'm okay with it, but Michigan State fans should be excited. It's a good time to be a State fan.
Yeah, offensively, let's just start offensively. Obviously, you know what they have in Jalen Naylor, Jaden Reed, Kenneth Walker found the end zone 3 times. When he gets going, there's pretty much nobody that can stop that offense. But Peyton Thorne, more importantly to your point, I agree with you 100%. He's the type of guy that isn't necessarily going to lose you games. He's not the most dynamic quarterback, but listen, he's accurate when he needs to be. What was he, 20 for 30, 330 yards and a touchdown. He has 11 touchdowns, 1 interception on the season. Doesn't really put the ball in harm's way. I like him more than Cade McNamara. Obviously, he can air it out more confidently and get completions. But in terms of this offense, it's great to see everything clicking. Mel Tucker, they're 5-0, something that Adam predicted. As soon as he said it, I agreed because it made sense. This team through the first 5 games they've played good. I mean, they gave up 31 to Western Kentucky, which, you don't like to see. They haven't been playing the best opponents, but I want to see this defense go against Michigan in 2 weeks. They're going to go against, I believe, Indiana this week. They got Michigan. I want to see how this defense does. They gave up 31 to, I believe, Bailey Zapp. He had 46 for 64, 488 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Western Kentucky has such a dynamic offense, though. It's nothing like, oh my goodness.
No, I get what you're saying, but even before then, the offense is on paper is disgusting. It's awesome. I love this. What I get out of this MSU offense. You can pick and choose. If Naylor was out and didn't catch a pass like last week, you have Jaden Reed who can return touchdowns, get you scoring opportunities in special teams, and he's a phenomenal wide receiver. So the Michigan State, they've looked good so far. I'm so excited. I said if they're both undefeated, this game against Michigan at Michigan State,
both teams need to win their next games, their next 2 games.
Yes.
They need to walk in undefeated. State's got Rutgers and Indiana. I mean, the Indiana game is a trap game in my opinion. Indiana, how are they going to go the whole season losing games? Who are they going to beat? It's not if they're going to win a game, it's when they're going to win it. Is it going to be against Michigan State, Penn State? Is it going to be against Michigan? We don't know. Michigan plays Nebraska next, and then, of course, they follow up with, goodness God, Michigan. Michigan follows up that with Northwestern. Sorry, excuse me. Home to Northwestern, but first they're away to Nebraska. If you have, just like big picture, take a step back for the Big Ten. You have Devil's Night in East Lansing. It will be the game of the year so far. It will be. It'll only be outdone by Georgia, Alabama. That's the only game that could outdo that game, in my opinion, in not only ratings, but hype and impact. You have Michigan and Michigan State walking in 7-0. That makes for great. It's a great storyline for both teams. It's great for the Big Ten. You look at Clemson out of the AP top 25. Unbelievable. The ACC's fallen off. Notre Dame has fallen off. You have Cincinnati. I'm not sure why they're still being considered a top team in the nation. They beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame is what? They've been struggling all year. They were fortunate to be undefeated up until that point. They're going to hang their hats on a Notre Dame win. Cincinnati is? Oh, their first win against a top 10 rated team. If you thought Notre Dame was a top 10 football team going into this Saturday, I question everything about you. They just weren't. So I'll consider that game more of false hope for Cincinnati. I don't think they're making the college football playoff. Regardless, back to the Big Ten. Ohio State looking good, dominated against Rutgers, I believe. Michigan looked good. Michigan State looked good. To Spiro's comment in the chat, you don't want to get thrown in 3rd and 12. Yes, I agree. But I got to say, he's not going to make awful decisions, though, in 3rd and 12. He's not going to lose you the game. And I feel like that's where Cade McNamara will struggle as the season goes on. And we saw more of J.J. McCarthy. We got to get to Michigan a little later, but I'm just saying. I brought it up 2 weeks ago. Conversation needs to be had on J.J. McCarthy being the starting quarterback. He got a lot of reps against Wisconsin. I liked it. We'll see how many he gets against Nebraska. I'm looking forward to it. We got to go to break. When we come back, we've got some early season evaluation to handle some business with the Detroit Lions. Kennedy?
Yes, we do. That is coming up next. But before we go, we need to hear about our friends over at Papa Romano's, which I know my boy Jeff was eating this Friday.
Yes, listen, it's Monday Night Football, ladies and gentlemen. You got the Chargers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders, and what a better opportunity to get some Papa Romano's pizza. They got perfect handcraft pizzas that have made them a Detroit favorite for over 50 years. They have house-made dough, hand-cut veggies, and fresh cheese that really make the difference. Go to Papa Romano's, get a big old large pizza, because the same quality goes on to all their pizzas, their salads, their subs, and pitas. Order now at paparomanos.com. Get yourself a delicious pizza.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back, everybody. You're tuning in to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Like we promised, we've got the Lions early season evaluation right here for you. All right, so far, we're 0-4. not a shock to anyone. We have lost to the Niners.
No. It is a shock to some people. Let's not forget there are people not only in the chat, not only in the city of Detroit, not only in the state of Michigan, but at this network that believed this team was going to actually win 10 games. Not only 10 games,
you know what?
Potentially 6, 7, 8, or 9.
And it sucks because people are calling our butts out.
Good. They deserve to call these idiots out. It's
They're
stupidity.
like, hey, half of your network still thinks we're going to win
Good.
10 games. I'm like, hold on.
That stupidity
Not
needs to
my
be
show.
The stupidity needs to be called out and gotten rid of. It's unacceptable.
But anyway, like I was saying, we've lost to the Niners, Packers, Ravens, and now the Bears. So you guys go through these 4 games with me, with the Lions, and discuss this loss to the Chicago Bears. I know it's like beating a dead horse, and it's painful for all of us to listen to, but it's got to be done. Jeff, let's start with you. How are you feeling?
Well, so far into the season, I picked this team to win about 6 games. That was before, obviously, the injuries, and I didn't see this team on the field yet. It was just, preseason predictions. I originally said 5. I moved it to 6. I felt comfortable. After seeing the first 3 games, I wasn't surprised. I did say they would go 0-3 and somehow find a way to string along some wins, but after seeing their performance thus far, 0-4, it's not even about the wins and losses because we expected there to be wins and losses. It's more so about their play on the field. Like I didn't like the decisions they were making. I didn't like some of the play calls on very important situations like 4th and 1s. There's a lot of things. The defense obviously is atrocious. Jared Goff is what we expected Jared Goff to be. So there's a couple things that I was able to clear up before the season, but. Other than that, I think someone who predicted this team to really win 8 to 10 games would have more to say than me because I didn't expect a whole lot.
It should be the opposite. It really should this morning. Look, forget what I say. Let's live in this fantasy world that some of you live in where you actually believe this football team. And I told you before the season, forget the win-loss record, man. Just look for the little things. Look for the defense to improve, the offense to improve in some capacity.
Right.
Look for individual player development. Look for growth. Look for your head coach to make good decisions in late game management. Even, dare I say, be aggressive in moments because, yes, you do have nothing to lose. But with all that comes accountability for your decisions and your actions. And if you actually thought this football team was going to win 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games, my friends... What do you want me to say? Do you want me to insult you this morning? I don't want to do that. This entire, you're all on the same. You're all still on the same team. Whether you're on the 5-win side or the 10-win side, it's still supporting the same team. So I don't want to sit up here and just like bash those people. But how can they not be? And what's the defense to it? You play to win the game. You play to win the game, Adam. It's meaningless. It's meaningless what happens because you got to play to win the game. Last I checked, Matt Rule, he didn't play to win the game. They improved on offense statistically. They improved on defense statistically. And they still had the same win-loss record. They show up the next year, get the quarterback, add defensive pieces, add some weapons, and they're now 3-1. Long season to go, but... You play to win the game. I'm sick of that. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of the week. We should have beat the Bears, Adam. We should have beat... Really? Really? You should have beat the Bears? The Lions are a bottom-tier roster in terms of talent. And you have the nerve to say they should go on the road and beat the Chicago Bears, even with a rookie quarterback. Really? That's just how out of depth you are with the reality of this team. You guys have to understand, people actually thought this team would win 8 to 10 games. I'm not lying to you here. There are people that not only believed it, they still believe it. We just got to sneak one in Minnesota, and then maybe we can win the following week against Cincinnati, and then we're on a 2-game winning streak, which means we're going to have the momentum heading into the Rams game, and it's our Super Bowl game, and then... Guys, stop doing this to yourself. Enjoy watching the game. I actually see some positives from this team. I can actually take away positives 4 games into the year from this football team. 4 games in compared to last season under Matt Patricia. Honestly. Like, I'm seeing some good things. But the problem is, You want to account wins and losses as the way to, let's say, what's the word I'm looking for? To attribute the progress made. No, guys, they could go 2-15. And if they just keep up the pace they're at now, I would say they improved year one. They got better. They're just void of talent, which means they need to draft more players. They need to get players in free agency. They have a bridge quarterback. Come on, Detroit, wake up a little bit. Wake up a little bit. This team should be able to compete for the division in year 3. I think by next year they should be a 7-8 win team. I do believe that. I know, Spiro. I know half the network is going to have them in the playoffs. I know. Believe me, I know. This team should be able to win 6, 7, 8 games next year. Just given that they're going to have talent upgrades. It'll be year 2 under the same coaching staff, same coordinators. Everybody's more familiar. I think they're capable. And you know what? You have 2 feature backs. You have hopefully a Tyrell Williams does end up coming back. But, like, you have enough pieces, in my opinion, in year 2 that will make you a respectable football team. 5, 6, 7, 8 wins, maybe. Maybe. But you're not going to make the playoffs. But if you take that step and win 5, 6, 7 games next year, well, then I can support the Dan Campbell project. But if you win 2 this year in a year that I'm giving you as a pass, and then you win 2, 3, 4 the next year, well, my friend, that's a problem. That's problematic. Then you're starting to look like, who's the dude in Cleveland? The dude in Cleveland, the head coach who was like 1-36 or whatever it was, 3-31. Hugh Jackson.
Yeah.
You win 2 games this year, 4 games this year, and then the same next year. You're starting to look like Hugh Jackson. It ain't pretty. It ain't pretty to be labeled as Hugh Jackson. So
Was
yes,
he
you
the
gotta
one-
win. Year 1, no, but year 2, yes.
Was Hugh Jackson when Kaiser was there?
Yes.
And they went, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. But look at him now. That could be us.
Yeah. No, of course. It's not about that. Could be us. Oh my God.
No, that's I
the
always look
Lions.
at the Browns.
We can
and
be
I'm
the
like,
Browns.
that's gonna be us.
If they went 0-16 and recovered, so can we.
That's right.
Shut up. You have to get the player personnel correct. You know what held Cleveland back? They hired Freddie freaking Kitchens. They hired some hillbilly coordinator to be their head coach. It didn't work out. They got rid of him year 1. In comes Kevin Stefanski, head coach of the year.
Andrew Berry.
Year 1,
Yeah.
playoff win. What do you know? You get the head coach right. It just somehow works where your team can actually win football games. How ironic is that?
I'm trying.
How ironic is that? I don't like it. I don't like it. Patty, I did say you were crazy that the Cardinals would win the division. I still don't think they win the division. That's the hardest division in football. It's so hard to call. Could be Seattle. Probably not San Francisco right now, but could be San Francisco. They're still sitting at 2-2. You have the Rams who are 3-1, only a game behind, and they still have to play Arizona again. Like, to call division winners this early it's a bit too much, guys. Just like to hold team stats from the year prior to this year so far is irrelevant to me. Don't bring up last year's numbers over a 16-game schedule and compare them to the first 4 games. Compare them 9, 10, 11 games into the year. That's more comparable data. Because I promise you, if the Lions get shut out next week, they're going to look way worse than maybe you believe them to be. Or if they score 35 next week, they may look better than what you believe them to be. So how about you give them 8, 9, 10, 11 game samples before you go around throwing team stats. We're better this year under Dan Campbell than Matt Patricia. How about, let's just say they look a little better. I'm seeing individual play improvement. I'm happy with the little things I'm seeing. But come on. Come on. We talk about head coach of the year. Do we have time, Kennedy? What time is it? We got 5 minutes. Can we segue a little bit? I want to talk about AJ Hinch and the Detroit Tigers. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. We got to talk about the Tigers. They finished their season, what, 75 and 80?
5 or 86?
87.
Like 87?
75 and 87.
I thought it was 77 and maybe.
Or 77 and 85?
I think so.
Yeah, 77 and 85. Yeah.
Look at me.
Good job, Kennedy.
These numbers in my brain.
Regardless, AJ Hinch is someone who should be considered manager of the year. And I think he wins it next year. And I think the Detroit Tigers are competing for a pennant next year in the AL Central. I just do. Pitching's looked pretty good. The bats came alive late, but I still have question marks. But you're going to bring up a Riley Green, a Spencer Torkelson a few months into the season. I like the direction the Tigers are heading in, and I didn't want to go on Monday. I didn't want to go this Monday without giving them their credit and their due. A tip of the cap for a great season, much better than many expected, including myself. I did not see this team winning 70, 75 plus games. That was tip of the cap to AJ Hinch. All right, we'll see if they go what they do and go out in free agency. That is a discussion we're going to have months to talk about. But just today, Detroit, tip your cap to the Detroit Tigers. Good for them. That is a growth in a rebuild process. That is growth. What the Pistons will do this year will be considered growth in a rebuild. Wait for the Lions. Lions need time. Sorry.
And you're hoping the Lions can do similar to what the Tigers did. Towards the second half of the season, they looked even better than the first half. So with the Detroit Lions, you're hoping they can improve on this horrendous 0-4 start, similarly to the Detroit Tigers. But yeah, AJ Hinch, credit to him, man. That is the prototypical. When you think of a rebuild, that is what you expect. A team that overachieves with the talent they have and just competes, and that's what we're expecting out of the Detroit Lions. But kudos to the Tigers, and kudos to Nick Leach, our guy at Woodward Sports, because he did predict. I think it was a game off. He predicted, I believe it was 76 and 86 or something like that. He was a game off of the record. So to say nobody predicted it, Nick Leach did before the season. I don't know how, I don't know why, but credit to him. It's on his Twitter.
Is that man?
Yeah, he was not playing around. What are you responding to right now? Are you responding to somebody?
No, I'm searching.
Okay, all right. I was gonna say Adam's just going off.
I'm not even.
You're like
in
stop
no.
him in his tracks.
I'm looking up something.
All right, you guys. Yeah. Well, when we come back, we've already talked about MSU. Next, we're going to talk about Michigan. So stick around for that. But before we go, we need to hear about the greatest defense in the world, not the Lions, but Guardian Alarm.
Yeah, listen, Guardian Alarm gets it. If you got a guy like, scary human like Adam outside your house trying to break in, Guardian Alarm will protect you. They got good defense on and off the field. They help you feel secure, and they have state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide when you're not home. It will even let you unlock and lock doors. Call this number, 800-STAY-OUT today. That's 800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out.
Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe. Thanks, Fish.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network, featured on the Roar 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, and 94.7 HD2. Happy Monday. And it's a happy Monday for State and Michigan fans. You're both coming in 5-0. How awesome. They move up to number 9 overall in the AP polls. You guys, what were your reactions to the game? And are they the 9th best team in college football? Jeff, let's start with you.
Well, they're certainly playing like it. Obviously, they beat a Wisconsin team who we predicted Michigan would win. Me and Adam on Friday at Big Boy predicted they'd win by a touchdown or two. We thought it'd be relatively closer than this.
Who called it? Who called it by 21? I'm just saying. Listen, when you predict the exact win margin, it feels good, I got to say.
Okay.
I called it by 21. And honestly, I didn't regret it at all. Because
Notre Dame won by more, but
last I checked, Notre Dame sucks. So continue, Jeff. Sorry.
But listen, it was 13-10 up until Graham Mertz got hurt. I think he injured his rib, which allowed Chase Wolf, to get into the game, and he was 3 for 8 in a pick, in a touchdown. So after Graham Mertz was injured, the game was pretty much over at that point. But you went against a team in Wisconsin who was able to stop the run. They have a very serious, very tough defensive front, and Michigan was still able to run the ball. Cade McNamara had to really do a lot more this game. He attempted 28 passes, I believe. He had 28, 17 for 28, 2 touchdowns. He's a guy who does limit your offense. You saw in one throw The one throw J.J. McCarthy made on a streak, a beautiful throw, just is better than any throw Cade McNamara made. Even that rollout touchdown to Cornelius, it was absolutely beautiful. It was Cornelius Johnson. I don't know. I like what I saw out of that one throw out of J.J. McCarthy. That man needs to get more reps, because even in the limited amount of reps he's finding success. So overall, though, Michigan only totaled a little over, just under 100 yards in a game for rushing, and they were still able to win by 21. That's a positive. This is a team in Michigan that we understand they're going to run the ball, pound the ball, and when your top guy, Hassan Haskins, is getting 47 yards, Blake Corum got 46, and you're still able to win the game by 3 touchdowns, it's a good thing. But nonetheless, I want to see Cade McNamara against way tougher opponents. We saw what Wisconsin was last week against Notre Dame. In the fourth quarter, Graham Mertz had throwing 2 pick sixes, I believe. But now this game, they got the job done. They're undefeated now. They still got to get the job done to go undefeated to go to Michigan State. But I thought they looked great. But more importantly, and I know Adam will agree with me on this, we got to see more J.J. McCarthy, because that game, man, last night, Cade is the type of quarterback who, we've said this multiple times, can lose games for you. He hasn't done anything to lose the starting job. It's more so just off talent when you're watching with your own eyeballs. You see the Michigan football play, and you see Cade McNamara throw the football compared to how J.J. McCarthy is when he's in the football game, all the dynamic plays he's able to make, even as a freshman, 3 years younger than Cade McNamara. It's impressive. So hopefully Michigan, over the next couple weeks, they really take a hard look in the mirror and say, listen, if we want to open up this offense, because they don't have a Jaden Reed, they don't have a Jalen Naylor, they have Cornelius Johnson, who's pretty dang good, and Roman Wilson made some plays, but you're going to need a guy who's more dynamic, a guy who can, make more plays with his feet, make more plays, unscripted plays. So, and I believe J.J. McCarthy has the potential to do that. He had 1 touchdown on the ground, and he had 1 in the air, and he looked great. So that's what my takeaway was. They're undefeated, and maybe we'll see J.J. McCarthy in the next couple weeks.
Okay, let's start with the Michigan win. Huge for them to beat a Wisconsin team. And before I even start with this, I need to read you guys a tweet I got over the weekend about Michigan. All right, and I'll quote it. Adam, you're dead wrong about Michigan. Nebraska is a trap game. Nebraska will expose Michigan for everything that they aren't. Get ready. It's going to be an ugly weekend next weekend. Okay. So I don't even care about half of it. It's the word exposed or expose a team that really drove me nuts. Wisconsin, if anything, was the team that should have exposed Michigan. They had the #1 ranked rush defense heading into the game. And they did a pretty good job of handling Michigan on the run. What did Michigan do? They were able to hit big plays down the field. And Wisconsin, unfortunately, lost their quarterback. Really changed the game. It was a 1-score game prior.
13-10.
And Michigan ran away with it. So I'm not sure how any Michigan fan or any non-Michigan fan wakes up today and says that Nebraska will expose or presents more of a threat than Wisconsin did. Wisconsin was the ideal team to beat and expose Michigan this weekend. It was Wisconsin. Now you have Nebraska, that's great. But Nebraska can only do so much as well. And if Michigan is able to move the ball downfield the way they did against Wisconsin, Nebraska shouldn't be much of an issue either. But my biggest takeaway is J.J. McCarthy needs to be the starting quarterback. And we're 3 weeks into this now. And I don't know how much more I have to argue for it. I mean, I'm dying for this kid to just play, honestly. If you're Jim Harbaugh, and let's say there's a guaranteed 3 losses on your resume this year. Let's just say there's 3, you can book them. If I told you, Harbaugh, you finished the season 9-3, no matter what you did, okay, well, I'm going to play this kid then, if I know I'm going to lose 3 games. I would rather lose knowing that I'm giving not only this kid an opportunity to be the quarterback, but I believe he gives me an opportunity, and that's just my feeling. I believe he gives me an opportunity to win football games that I don't believe I could win with Cade McNamara as my starting quarterback. Adam, Cade had a good game. He threw the ball downfield. It was a flea flicker. He had an average game. Oh, he had a nice corner of the end zone pass to Cornelius Johnson. That was nice. He made two good throws, one of which was set up to where he could just throw it downfield on a flea flicker and get a big play. Cade McNamara offers nothing. He doesn't offer consistent third down conversions. He's not going to move the chains for you. He's not going to make teams respect the RPO. Something Gaddis and Harbaugh have really shown that they're going to try to implement, but you can't do it with Cade McNamara as your quarterback. So whether or not he uses more of the two quarterback system playing heading into Nebraska, I don't know. All I do know is that I am vying for J.J. McCarthy to be the starting quarterback. I think it's time. I think Michigan ranked number 9. This is such a weird Monday. Michigan and Michigan State are ranked 9th and 11th in the nation, respectively, in the AP polls. Can someone like backtrack us 5 weeks ago where both were unranked and there were a lot of question marks going into the year, and now they're both sitting pretty at 5-0 with an opportunity to head into East Lansing on Devil's Night 7-0. My goodness, it's a great storyline. It's a great storyline. So y'all are ranked 7th in the country and want to change quarterbacks low. Well, first, they're 9th in the nation. Second, they're as good as they are because
not because of
their
quarterback
defense.
play. Yeah,
they have one of the best front sevens in college football. Mike McDonald has done a phenomenal job year 1 as defensive coordinator. Cade McNamara has played good, but good doesn't win you Big Ten championships, my friend. So yes, the conversation needs to be had about switching quarterbacks because it just so happens that the kid on the bench offers much, much higher upside. And if you're trying to win the Big Ten this year, I like my odds of doing it with J.J. McCarthy than Cade McNamara because I don't think Cade can beat Penn State. I don't think Cade can beat Ohio State. I don't even believe he can beat Michigan State on the road. I don't. And because I believe that, I think J.J. McCarthy should be the starting quarterback. They just are. That's just the way it needs to be, guys. And the defense, Hutchinson. How do you say his name? I don't even know how to say.
I know what you're talking about. The linebacker,
Ojabo, I think.
The linebacker,
dude.
Yeah,
they know how to get pressure without even blitzing. They can send 4 and get pressure. That's why their secondary looks so much better. I like Michigan. I like him a lot more with J.J. McCarthy. I get he's young, he's raw, he's a freshman. But you know what? Trevor Lawrence won a natty as a freshman.
I was just going to say.
Put your balls on the table. And I'd rather you lose a few games this year, Jim, with J.J. as your quarterback than Cade McNamara.
I was just going to say, you bring up the Dabo Swinney comparison. Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence for Clemson both started freshman, sophomore, and junior year. It's something that they believe in. Maybe John Harbaugh can adapt something like that. Jim Harbaugh, excuse me. So
he has to.
Right.
He has to.
Right.
Guys, you called me crazy for comparing him to Dabo Swinney. Look at him now. Dabo Swinney doesn't have the quarterback, doesn't have the dynamic offense, and of course they're suffering at Clemson. That doesn't mean he's a bad coach.
Right.
But how convenient. After year 6, what did Dabo Swinney get that Jim Harbaugh has yet to show he's gotten? The quarterback, right? He got Deshaun Watson, and then he got a Trevor Lawrence, and he put dynamic athletes around him, and of course the rest is history, 2 natties. You have J.J. McCarthy waiting for the opportunity. The QB sneak. He threw a dime down the sideline for a touchdown. The kid can play. Whether or not he's ready at the line of scrimmage or ready for that environment, I'm not sure. I would still prefer taking the risk on him than just watching Cade maybe lose me a game. But he's not going to win me a game. I know that for sure. We'll have to wait and see. Kennedy, your thoughts on Michigan?
You know I don't have thoughts on Michigan.
I
don't
know.
sit there really and watch these games because I don't care. But all I know is Ohio State is still ranked above them, and that's what matters. And we'll see.
Ohio State can suck one. Let's start there. Nobody cares about Ohio State. Nobody cares about Notre Dame. Nobody cares about, who else is it? Bowling Green, for that matter. Right? Anything you root for, I vehemently despise and will argue against every single day on this network. Not going to happen.
If Michigan couldn't handle them action, I told Braylon that. And he got, I looked at Braylon after Bowling Green beat Minnesota, and I go, I don't even know if Michigan could handle that in action, and he gets up and walks away from me. It was awesome. But anyway, when we come back, we're going to talk about Dan Campbell's aggressive play calling and how these guys feel about it. But before we go, Jeff, can you tell me about our friends here at Lady Jane's?
Listen, you need a haircut and you're trying to think about where to go, stop right now. You come to Lady Jane's. They're open 7 days a week, 10 to 8. You walk in, you sit down, you can just sit really one of these comfy chairs I'm looking at right now. You get to watch sports on the television and get your hair fixed up for you. Come in, walk in anytime, sign in, and you know why you should do it? Because it's wicked awesome.
Papa Romano's has a pizza that is pleased to meet you. The Pizza Pizza is a sizzling deal and fully loaded with pepperoni, ham, Italian sausage, ground beef, and bacon. Get a large Pizza Pizza for $16.99 at paparomanos.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back, everyone. You're tuning into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. You guys, we've talked about it a little bit. You've seen Adam's tweets. I want to start with Adam because I think people are feeling that he's being wishy-washy on this subject. Dan Campbell's aggressive play calling, is it good or bad? Adam, last week you were mad that it wasn't aggressive enough. People are saying now you're mad that it's too aggressive for your liking.
People are dumb.
What? Okay, there we go.
People are dumb.
Situational. I mean,
that is guys. That is not being aggressive.
I'm not
that is being
person,
stupid.
I'm just saying.
You are down 2 scores. Mm-hmm. You need to put points on the board, whether or not it's a field goal or a touchdown. You need to walk away on that drive with points, or you lose the game. And what do? You put the ball in Jared Goff's hands? Again, I said it before the season. It's so easy for Dan Campbell to just be gung-ho on his... hey, I'm going to make the most aggressive decisions. I'm here to change the culture. Well, you know what, Dan? It'd be nice if you would make a decision that actually won your team a game. Winning changes the culture.
Right.
And it doesn't change it year 1. No, it doesn't. You change it year 2 or 3. You change the culture by winning for a consistent amount of time. For a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year period. You are considered one of the best teams in your division, a contender in the NFC. That is how you change this culture. Not by going for it on 4th and 1, putting it in your quarterback's hands in the shotgun, throwing to a rookie wide receiver. And again, I'm telling you guys, there's no chance in hell that play call was scripted going into the game. The Lions were not prepared for a scenario on the goal line where they were down 2 possessions in the 4th quarter. They were not prepared, and it showed because they didn't have options. They came out with an out route to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He could have broke harder. Jared Goff should have made a throw. I got it. I'm with you guys on that. But let's remember one thing. It's easy to make those decisions when you're playing for nothing. You have nothing to lose. I'm not judging him year 1. Nobody seriously is judging the guy year 1. You want to look for team development, player development, but you're not going to look at his win-loss record and say, wow, that's a really bad football coach. No, but the late game decisions don't help. And sorry, you're going to get questioned for them. You want to be bold? You want to be aggressive? Great. I have no problem with it. But what happened against Chicago wasn't aggressive. It was stupid. It was naive. You needed points, whether it was 7 or 3, to have a chance. Forget the 4th down situation. You needed, on that drive, to get 3 or 7 points to give your team a chance. And it just so happened that you had 2 timeouts and there were over 4 minutes left in that football game, which means you still could have given up 1, 2, maybe even 3 first downs if they were achieved fast enough where you could still get the ball back. And I understand. It's difficult to go down the field with 0 timeouts and score a touchdown. Well, you know what? You should have thought about that in the 1st and 2nd quarter. But, oh, no, we're being aggressive now. We don't need the points. Hey, we don't need the 3 points here. We don't need them. We'll just turn the ball over in the red zone. Huh. Really? But I'm not allowed to question decision-making on Mondays, right? Guys, this isn't about being aggressive. Being aggressive is great. I'm all for it. If he would have ran the ball, I would have respected it a little more. But to give the ball to the quarterback, let's be honest here, that none of us believe in, the quarterback who didn't make a sideline throw all game, who only was hitting balls over the middle and through the seam routes to Khalif Raymond, that is the guy you gave the ball on 4th and 1. But you didn't trust him last week against Baltimore. What do you want me to say today? Honestly, what do you guys want from me this morning? Seriously. What would you like me to say to make you feel better about what happened on Sunday? Honestly. Please, somebody tell me. Because last week, it was 1st and 10 at the 2-minute warning. And you didn't have the balls to try and win the game. But now this week, you turned around on 4th and 1. Instead of making it a one-possession game, and again, I understand the analytics side of it, but the analytics also said they only had a 5% chance of winning more by going for it than actually kicking the field goal. So it was worth the 5% increase? The risk was worth the 5% increase. That's our analytical-based decision coaching right now, right? I'm tired of this. You don't have Kyler Murray. You don't have Dak Prescott to an extent. You don't have Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. You have Jared freaking Goff.
Thought he still had Stafford
as your quarterback.
I don't know.
You have Jared Goff as your quarterback. How dare you? How dare you say it was a gut feeling to go for it with Jared Goff as your quarterback? You put it in his hands? Well, Adam, you're saying take the field goal. You're ripping on Goff. How could you trust Goff to go down and get you a touchdown after that? Nothing I say is going to change your minds because you're all honestly either stupid, naive, or delusional, and I can't help any of the three. I really can't help you. Lions fans posing with the flag outside of the game. One pride. Dan Campbell, we love you. Grow up. Grow up. You are an adult. Grow up.
All right, I can't let that one slide.
No,
I can't let that slide. Like that's called being a genuine fan.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
I agree with you
let
though.
People enjoy things.
I'm not gonna let people enjoy things when they're gonna try to sit up here and actually justify stupidity and say that this team has a chance of winning all these games.
Now, if those people are saying 8 to 10 wins, I agree.
Those are the same people.
Okay, I'd still support my team and say we're gonna be.
In the picture, he's the same guy that sat up there and said they would win 11 football games.
It would be Fish. Fish would be in that crowd. I mean, what are we doing?
Stop excusing this. Stop excusing the decision because the team didn't execute it.
So you want Lions fans to show up to Chicago?
That's not what I said. Don't be like them and put words in my mouth.
Oh wait, let me address
and not wear Lions stuff.
That's not what I said.
Let me address what he did say because I do agree with you. It's about. Because people who said that point of Adam wanted you to be aggressive against the Ravens, I remember reading things on Twitter. I was like,
you're trying to win the game.
Yeah, I know.
Against Chicago, you're trying to tie the game.
I know.
You can't tie the game if it's a 2-possession game and you only have the ball one more time.
It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense.
Oh my God, the shock on Monday morning that it's a 2-possession game and you can't win it unless you get the ball 2 more times, which you couldn't. Oh my God, the shock on a Monday morning. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You know what my therapist used to say? You know what they said? You said you use controlled aggression. All right, they like to talk about controlled aggression.
Campbell is basically a virgin nutting all over himself because the first time he's ever masturbated. He's just every 4th down situation. He's just going for it. I'll go for it here, there. I'm gonna go for it here. I don't need the points. I'm down 14-0. Who needs the points, guys? Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
People who don't have controlled aggression don't have that much to lose. That is what it is. And I don't know in this case. We understand, and people like to give the pass to Dan. He's not expected to win games. You want him to go for it. Well, sometimes the less risky decision can still lead to a good outcome. I mean, is that a surprise to anybody? At least being smart in a football game can still lead to a positive outcome. You don't have to go for it in such deep territory and put the ball in Jared Goff's hands to a rookie wide receiver. Doesn't make any sense at all. I agree with that point, like what you're making. You want to win the game. I get if they already previously kicked the field goal and they were only down 7, go for it. I could care less.
But why were they down 10? Did they refuse to take 6 points in the first half? Yes or no?
Yes.
Again,
So there we go.
Aggressive play calling. Listen, you can't have the cake you want and eat it at the same time. Isn't that the saying, Kennedy? You can't have it both ways.
Yes, right.
You can't. You can't sit up here and say, I'm being harsh for criticizing aggressive play calling when they're leaving points on the board. Going for it on 4th and 1 at the opponent's 45, I'm game for. Good. Do that more. I like that. I like the aggressiveness. Going for it on 4th and goal with limited options, knowing that Hawkinson is probably going to get covered and that they're probably expecting either a run or a quick out. Like, you don't have an end zone, you don't have a red zone threat. You're going to line up Hawkinson on the edge? Great, go for it. What are the chances of that working? Jared Goff's your quarterback. Keep excusing his decision-making by failed execution. You do that. I promise you, no head coach around the NFL is sitting up there saying, yeah, you know what, our team should have executed. It's not my fault.
Right.
I made the right decision. We just didn't execute. Shut up.
It's the opposite. They didn't execute because of the wrong decision. That's what it seems like.
I'm telling you, Corey Woods needs to go in there today and ask this question. I'm so curious because I already know the answer, though. Were the Lions prepared?
Oh, my God.
In their script. Remember, you're planning for every situation possible during the week. Were the Lions prepared to be down 2 scores and they had a play drawn up to go for it on 4th and short? Were they prepared for it? I believe no. It was so obvious based on the play call, based on them not even thinking to call a timeout on one of the most important plays of the game.
Well, that's a mental, that is a coaching mistake right there.
Well, that's
I
my
don't think
though.
not making a timeout doesn't mean they weren't prepared. I'm sure they were expected to be down. They have play calls for being down 2 scores. It's the line. I mean, they're not expected to be up at a game or at least a close game. Amon-Ra's open, Quintez is open. The play call's still bogus.
Jared Goff is your quarterback,
I understand.
Jeff.
That's why the play call's still bogus. It doesn't make sense.
The same people.
It doesn't make sense.
We'll say Jared Goff had a good game, Adam. 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He looked better than Stafford did yesterday.
Come on, dude.
Guys. Jared Goff is limited. He was traded away for a reason.
He's the Mackinac Bridge.
And if you guys want to show up today on a Monday because the Rams lost 1 football game and you want to flip out and say, wow, we're justified now, like, grow up a little bit. Grow up. The Bucs were 7-5? After their Monday night loss to the Rams last year, and they didn't lose a game for the rest of the years. The Rams are sitting at 3-1 in the hardest division in football. They lost to a really good football team, probably a top 5 team in the NFL. Excuse them. Unbelievable. I'm not sure where else to go with this. People, you guys are really missing the ball here, but we got to hit around the league. Lots of NFL games to talk about. Lots of action from the Vikings and the Browns, Packers, Steelers. I called that one correct. I was happy about that. Giants won. The Jets won. Happy for Robert Saleh. Michigan native. Robert Saleh got his first NFL win. That was huge. We'll get to all that after the break, won't we, Kennedy?
Yes, we will. But before we go to break, we need to hear about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy.
All right, guys, let's talk about Underdog Fantasy for a moment. The NFL season is underway, but you can still draft a new fantasy team each week on the Underdog Fantasy app to win cash prizes. Download it on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, or just visit underdogfantasy.com. Use code WSN, and they'll give you $10 to deposit and use your first go. Try it completely risk-free. Free $10 when you sign up. Nothing to lose, guys. Nothing to lose. We'll see you right after the break.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. All right, like Adam said, we're going to go around the NFL, get you caught up on all the games you might have missed. So you guys, the Cardinals beat the Rams. Let's start with that. That's one of the biggest talking points, I feel like, right now, because people are,
yeah, the
Stafford
city
lost.
of Detroit really are reaching for this one.
Yes.
The Rams lost. We won the trade. Matthew Stafford's a bum.
Yeah, right.
They lost our football game, guys, to a top 5 football team. Wow. that one really hurt. It was a great game. Very, Sean McVay got out coached. Like, forget the players. Like, Cliff Kingsbury put together his best game plan I've seen him as an NFL coach so far.
Yep.
It's impressive. Great win for the Cardinals. Happy for them. They really took that next step from pretenders to contenders. I mean, you don't go on the road and beat LA and not get credit for me. I love it. Great for them. I'm happy for them. Kyler Murray, MVP frontrunner with Josh Allen right now.
I like that. I like Kyler Murray. Really, the only four is, what is it? Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, maybe Matthew and Dak. That's like my top four right there that are going to be in the conversation. But yeah,
Stafford would have to be fourth on that list right now, though.
Yes, yeah, we can agree on that. Listen, good game. The Arizona Cardinals look legit. I've had them, pretty high in my top 10. I had them second in the NFC West. They obviously just beat my number one ranked team in the NFC West. But the conversation is more about Kyler Murray being in the MVP conversation, and then more importantly, Cliff Kingsbury, someone who I thought wouldn't last more than 4 years in this league. He's his second or third season. They hired him from Texas Tech. Okay coach at Texas Tech, but what he did Sunday against the Los Angeles Rams, like Adam alluded to, put together a very, very perfect game plan, essentially to take down an undefeated team, someone who was leading their division. And it was a good win, nonetheless. I mean, they got guys on this team, on this Arizona Cardinals team. I mean, my Lord, they're stacked on both sides of the ball, too. We can talk about J.J. Watt and the secondary, Budda Baker. They got, obviously, Chandler Jones. They have dogs up front and in the secondary. You can go on the offensive side of the ball. Like, A.J. Green had a good game last night. He was looking like Bengals. The last couple games, he's looked great. 5 for 67. The Cardinals are legit. Now, we'll see how, if Kyler Murray's his style of play always seems to wear down on him throughout the season. Like towards the back end of every season, Kyler Murray's play tends to decrease a little bit, and we'll see if he'll derail some of the Cardinals' success. But so far, they're undefeated, and man, they look good.
Fair enough. Next game.
All right, next we're going to talk Browns beat the Vikings, but just barely. I thought this was going to be a higher scoring game for the Browns. I was a little shocked by this. They only won by one score, 14-17. Adam, what did you think about this game?
I mean, they're missing Jarvis Landry. OBJ is still getting his legs under him. The offense is going to be stale, but they did a good job controlling the clock, running the football. They did what they needed to do to win that football game. For me, that's impressive for any football team, especially a team that you consider contenders in the AFC. They're finding different ways to win. I like Cleveland. Good for them. They're looking good. I think their offense will pick up as the season goes on. But Minnesota are the best 1-3 team in the NFL. They are. They're 1-3, correct? I'm right by saying that, right?
Yep, 1-3.
Yep.
They just got their first one last week.
So the Vikings are 1-3. They now host the Detroit Lions. That'll be a tough week, tough game. We'll get to that later in the week. But Baker's limited, guys. I've been saying it for too long now. Baker's not a franchise quarterback. He's like a Jared Goff. He'll win you games. Yep. He's not gonna win you the games that you should lose, and that's the difference between a good quarterback and a franchise/elite quarterback. And Baker just isn't it. And I hope there's a trade situation towards the end of the season, maybe after it, where the Browns make a move for Deshaun Watson. I think that's the play. You trade Baker, a first and a third, and you get Deshaun Watson in there if they're willing to accept it.
I like it. To your point, the Browns always finding a way to win. Listen, they're 3-1 right now, and Baker Mayfield. What disappoints me about Baker Mayfield is you can have Nick Chubb, 21 carries, 100 yards, Kareem Hunt, 14 for 69 and a touchdown, and he still throws under 50% completion percentage. I mean, it's unreal. You see a guy like Dak Prescott. Once he gets a run game with Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott, he's throwing 70%, if that. For completion percentage. So this is the problem with Baker. It's what are you exactly? Are you a game manager? But clearly when he's trying to manage a game, I know he is average. It's probably that's a good point. Him and Jared Goff,
they're average quarterbacks.
I like Jared Goff a little better, but they're around the same.
They look good when everything goes right. And when things don't go right, they can't win you football games. And Jared Goff, though, to be fair to Jared Goff, early on in his career, showed like he had that potential. Mm-hmm. He really looked like he could have been an elite quarterback, and then he took a complete dump the last 3 years, and now he's looking average in Detroit.
And it's weird. It's the opposite for Baker. He looked horrible his first 2 years, and now with
Lots
Kevin
of
Stefanski,
turnovers. Yeah.
he's looking a little better. So, but nonetheless, the Browns finding a way to win. Like you said, to your point, 1-3. The Minnesota Vikings, every game they've played, all tough opponents. They've played down to the wire. The Arizona Cardinals, they had the Seahawks. They just beat. Now they just almost took down the Browns. I love what I see out of the Vikings, even though they're 1-3. Man, they're a tough team.
Before we move on to the next game, I gotta say, you struggled against David Montgomery and Damian Williams. Dalvin Cook and Madison come to town next week.
And he had a bad game his first game back. He'll bounce back.
So we have that. What's up, Kennedy?
All right, coming up next, the Packers beat the Steelers. I placed a bet on this one, Adam, that you confirmed that I should do. I think.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. They were only, favored by 6.5 points. And I was
told you
like,
to
this
cover.
is too low. But, Adam, is this too low? Because I think it's too low. And it was. So they won 27-17. Jeff, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, this Pittsburgh Steelers team is absolutely god-awful. I mean, they're as much talent as they at least have. 1-3. Ben Roethlisberger, he's a big problem. And what sucks is Najee can lead the team in rushing and have almost as many receptions as the leading receiver on the team. So that's your issue. Najee's your entire offensive unit. You don't have an offensive line, and Ben Roethlisberger looks like a shell of himself. So it is what it is. I like the bet because Adam's completely right. I mean, they're going to win maybe 4 or 5 games. This Steelers team is just horrid. I don't know. They can't seem to find a string any type of win. They're offensively, they look completely lost, and they can't stop anybody on defense other than week 1 against the Bills. So they're fakers, but more importantly, Green Bay, they're bouncing back, which we all expected them to do after losing a week 1. Now they're 3-0 since then. So kudos to the Packers.
Packers look good. Like I told you they would. Hit the panic button too early, guys. Relax, as Aaron Rodgers would say. The Packers, this is their division to lose, and they're not losing it. Matt LaFleur is one of the young, bright head coaches in the league. Aaron Rodgers is still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. They still have Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams. The secondary, Stokes actually looks good. They actually look like they hit on that pick. I believe his second interception of the year came yesterday.
Yeah.
Looks good for a rookie. Not bad. Not bad. I like Green Bay. Good for them. I think they're contenders. Whether the NFC is loaded with teams that, if you told me, hey, they made the Super Bowl, it wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
If you told me the Rams made it, wouldn't surprise me. If you told me the Bucks made it, well, back-to-back Super Bowl appearances doesn't surprise me. If you told me the Seahawks, the Cardinals, even the Niners, I could say, yeah, I could see that happening. Mm-hmm. And I can say the same about the Packers. And that's impressive. The NFC is stacked, honestly.
All right, the next one, you called it, Adam. Jets versus Giants. They just snuck away with it. No, yeah, Adam came through with.
I made a
bet.
big bet on that game.
The the Jets beat the Giants 12-7. So, Adam, let's hear what you have to say about this game. How did you know this was going to be their first win? How'd you know?
Listen, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones were out. If there was ever a day to bet on the Jets,
it would have been.
It was when the Titans couldn't throw the ball and the Jets could just stack the box. It was an ugly, messy game. Titans did well to tie it up late, 24-24, and then, of course, they win it 27-24. Ryan, I believe Bullock missed the late field goal in overtime, which prevented the game from being a tie, which is convenient. Robert Saleh, congratulations. His first win as a head coach in the NFL. That's great. We talk about diversity in not only the workplace, but just in general and the community and life itself and natural anything you do in life. You talk about wanting more diversity. Well, there you go. I mean, the first head coach, the Muslim head coach to win in the NFL. That's great.
Yeah.
And one day we'll see the first woman head coach, and it's gonna keep happening. This is like how things work in life. I mean, people break down barriers. Congratulations to Robert Saleh and the New York Jets. But speaking of a team in New York, Jeff, the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Giants beat the New Orleans Saints.
They
Saquon
did.
Barkley looked like himself again. What were your thoughts on the game?
Well, I thought, listen, number one, Saquon Barkley, my God. Had the game we were all waiting for him to have. Opened it up in the pass game, too. I think he was, 5 for 74 and a touchdown. On the ground, he's 13 for 52 and a touchdown. That's what we know Saquon to be. The first, 4 games or 3 games of the season looked like a shell of himself. But more importantly, Daniel Jones, I know he had the interception. That shouldn't have been an interception. It was a Hail Mary to end the half. But other than that, had 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. He played pretty well, get their first win against a good New Orleans Saints team who has a very good defense. Yeah, it's Jameis Winston, and you should have never taken him out. The minute they put Taysom Hill in to attempt a 30-yard bomb for an interception, it changed the game. It was an idiotic.
Taysom Hill looked like Derrick Henry yesterday.
Well, yes. Athletically, he did.
Taysom Hill looked like Derrick Henry yesterday.
With his arm, he looked like Jameis Winston when he threw the ball. But other than that, good win by New York. They didn't deserve to go down 0-4. They've just beaten themselves in majority of these games. And, kudos to Joe Judge.
Rob Swift, I'm pretty sure that's a mock draft for the Lions that I'm seeing in the group chat. Alex, if you want to play that on the screen, be my guest. But he has the Lions picking number 3, drafting a quarterback in Malik Willis. No, that should not happen. If you're in a position, let's say the number 3 spot, and you're not sold on a quarterback, you still have another year, Jared Goff. You can still franchise him after that. Excuse you. You trade back. You load up on defensive pieces, or if, let's say, a Thibodeau or somebody you can't miss on defense, a guy you need to have is there, you take him. And then later in the round, you get, Christian Harris, linebacker, and then Alabama edge rusher. After that, I could care less. But to be honest, no. You need to address skill position and defensive players.
Right.
If you have, let's say, 7 picks this year, you need to draft 6 defensive players and 1 skill position. And the skill position player needs to come in the late first or early second round. And then you go defense heavy for the rest of it. That's just how it's going to work. This team is years away, talent-wise, from competing. So why draft a quarterback and waste 1 year of his rookie contract sitting behind Jared Goff on an awful team that would still have no wide receivers? Come on. No. I'm not sure if I'm sold on Malik Willis. It's way too early.
Yeah.
We'll talk about who the Lions should be drafting later on in the year, maybe 9-10 weeks from now. But right now, I'm not open to talking about any draft stock right now. It's too early.
And if that Malik Willis, let's just shy away from those conversations. I don't like to your point, this year I don't like any quarterbacks coming off the draft so far. I mean, there's a couple guys that have been playing well, but in terms of taking someone we're going to be in the top 3. We acknowledge that. So you're going to want the best player.
May I remind you, Detroit, that you need to load up on defense. Do I have to say it again?
You don't need to say it.
You missed on Trayvon Diggs. You missed on Trayvon Diggs.
They did.
You know who's drafted over him? Do I have to say it?
No. Don't say it.
Do you want me to say it?
Don't say it.
Should I say it?
Yeah, say it.
You sure? You sure you want to hear this?
The viewers, everyone needs to know. Huh? You got to put this in people's heads. Yes.
No. Kennedy, I'm asking you. Would you like me to finish my Trayvon Diggs segment?
Remind us.
Are you sure?
Yep, go for it.
You sure?
If I have to excuse myself, you'll know why. Just say it.
All right. Do you guys want to know when he was drafted? In the second round, 51st overall in 2020. Do you know who was drafted over him?
I can't wait.
Oh my God! Jelani Tavai.
Wow, I've missed you saying his name. It's been a while.
I tweeted about him last night.
I saw that.
I said, how convenient.
And we have to get to that game.
He looked just as bad in New England as he did in Detroit. Some things never change.
Tom Brady and the Bucs just squeaked by the Pats, winning 19-17. But the big question that everyone's asking themselves is who deserves more credit? Was it Brady or was it Belichick? So what do you guys think about that?
They both deserve equal amount of credit. To anybody that discredits one or the other, kick rocks and just get a life. Seriously. Belichick shut down Tom Brady and held him to 17 points. Yeah. He's a horrible head coach. It's all Tom Brady. Tom Brady had his weapons back. Yes, he was missing Gronk, but they were running the ball well. They couldn't score in the red zone. I wonder why. What a Bill Belichick trend. Bend but don't break, and they don't break often. Mac Jones did a great job keeping him in the game. It was a great football game to watch. Yes. I loved it all around. Great Sunday night football game, but can we stop with the Belichick Brady stuff? Can we put it to bed?
Yes.
Brady won the divorce short term, yes. He went to a very good team, a good head coach, and he made it happen. That was great. Belichick can go take over the Seahawks, the Rams, and look just as good. I mean, come on. They had no cap space last year. Half their team sat out because of COVID. Let's give Bill a break here. They both deserve equal amount of credit.
They deserve fair credit. One puts the game plans together, one executes the game plans. You can't take credit away from either one of them. You can't.
Well, I like it, you guys. Coming up next, we're going to preview Monday Night Football for you guys. The Los Angeles Chargers are taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Both great places to be, nice and warm and pretty. Anyway, before we go, we do need to hear about our friends at Levels from our friend Adam.
All right, guys. Starting right now, get 10% off your order just by mentioning Woodward Sports. How easy can it be, honestly? Everything from T Grizzly's gas to D-Max Special Strain and edibles all on sale now. Download the Enjoy Levels app today and start saving. It's available both on the Android and iOS store.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Morning, Art. Morning, D-Mac.
Welcome back, everyone. As promised, we're going to get into tonight's Monday Night Football game. Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Adham, what do you want to say about it?
I am looking forward to this game. Two of my favorite teams right now to start the year, the Raiders and the Chargers. I've got the Chargers pulling away on this game. I think they win 27-20. Again, I really think the Chargers are going to finish this year with a top 12 defense. They just have it. And Brandon Staley is no pushover. I'm in love with the work he's doing. Obviously, he has Joe Burrow. The offense can speak for itself. But I really, more than anything, I love what Brandon Staley is doing with this team on defense. Anthony Lynn had the same team and made it look god-awful. Brandon Staley takes over, and they're probably going to walk away tonight as division leaders in a division that fields the 3-1 Broncos, the then would be the 3-1 Vegas Raiders, the 2-2 Kansas City Chiefs, and the 3-1 Las Vegas Raiders, or Los Angeles Chargers. Unbelievable. Tough division. Jeff.
In terms of the Las Vegas Raiders, what an impressive 3 games. Listen, Derek Carr has been playing out of his behind. They're undefeated. Josh Jacobs has been out the last 2 games. He's barely had a run game, and he's been able to string along a couple W's, which, to his credit and John Gruden's credit, finally this Raiders team. Maybe it had to have been the move to Las Vegas that rejuvenated this team, but regardless, I have the Los Angeles Chargers coming out with a win tonight. I'll say 24-17, 24-14, something around that area, because the Chargers, their defense is legit. I think if Josh Jacobs especially doesn't play, I think the Chargers has a secondary that can at least give Derek Carr some issues to now allow him to throw 400 yards a game like he's been doing. And they're at home. And I like Justin Herbert a lot. I love him. He's probably going to have another 30-plus touchdown season like he did his rookie year. And they're probably going to win this game, go up 3-1, and contend for that division. So I just don't believe the Raiders are going to go up 4 wins, 0 losses. I think the Chargers will give them a run for their money, go up 3-1. So I got the Chargers winning, I'll say 24-17. That's my prediction.
Low-scoring game. I think we're both kind of on the under on this one. Fish. Buddy,
yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right.
Fish. Doing normal.
Fish, I got to ask you a question.
Okay.
All right. We're going to segue a little bit. First, I want your predictions for tonight between the Chargers and the Raiders. Who you got?
The Raiders won by 10.
Raiders won by 10. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kennedy, I need to hear your prediction.
I'm going to go with Fish. I like that, Fish. Let's do that. I'll put a bet on it right now.
If the Raiders win, then Derek Carr needs to be put in the MVP
Kennedy?
Of course, yeah, undefeated at this point. If Kyler Murray's in it, Derek Carr's in it. They're both undefeated. They'd be at that point, and Derek Carr's put on, some good football with less talent than Kyler Murray. So you throw him right in that MVP conversation.
Look, a lot of people are talking about 0-17 in the chat.
Oh boy.
Listen,
I hate to be that guy.
Boy.
The Jags.
I don't think any team will go 0-17. I really don't. From what I've seen, the Jags have actually improve week to week. The line's improving. No, seriously. I think there's a team, though, that will go 1-16, and they will be god-awful, and that's the Houston Texans.
Yeah, with Davis Mills, yeah. I agree with you.
No, they're done. I don't like their coach. I don't like their roster. I don't like anything about them. They will go 1-16. They will get the number 1 overall pick. Accept it. Now, regarding the storyline that I've been praying for, again, I may come off as a jerk, but I'm just saying it'd be a great storyline if the Lions finish the season 0-17. Now, will they? I don't think so. I think they win 2 to 4 games.
Wouldn't be a good storyline for Campbell. He wouldn't like that one.
I mean, it would be a great storyline. The guy that played on the 0-16 team.
Oh, my God.
The only franchise not only to go 0-16, but the first franchise to go 0-17. And they did it in the first inaugural year of a 17-game schedule. My friends, that is what we call front page news.
He would put it on his resume. You're absolutely right.
He didn't technically play for the 0-16 team.
He was injured. I know. Excuse me.
If he would have played, it would have been.
He was on the roster.
1-15.
He was on the roster.
It's a good resume piece.
Unacceptable.
You know what I mean?
All right, well, before we wrap up, I want to go back and talk about the Chargers-Raiders game. Jeff, Derek Carr, right now, dark horse MVP. I think we can agree on that, especially if he goes out and wins tonight. I just think the Chargers have too much on offense, and I don't think the Raiders have an answer for them on defense. Now, the Raiders' offense fields Henry Ruggs and Darren Waller. Ruggs may not put up the numbers, but he runs the routes that really open up the field for Darren Waller. And if you want a chance your corner or your safety one-on-one downfield against Henry Ruggs, he's going to win that foot race most of the time. So he does pose that threat for the entire game. I think that's very tricky for Los Angeles, but I think Brandon Staley's going to do a good job of calling up the blitz. I think they get to Derek Carr 4 or 5 times tonight. Jeff, any other bold predictions before we get out of here?
Not really. I mean, the Chargers are going to win. That's really only the prediction I have. They're going to win. They're going to, like to your point, I believe the Raiders, at least on offense, they've strung along 3 wins. They're 3-0. The Chargers, I can argue, have faced tougher opponents and have played every opponent to pretty much the last in the fourth quarter. So you can go back to the Dallas Cowboys game when they won by a field goal. The Chargers could be 3-0 at this point. They just beat the Chiefs. They look great. I mean, as much as they're 2-1, the Raiders are 3-0. It's a tale of 2 teams that look good at them, and I'm just going with Herbert. I don't know. Herbert and that defense, I trust. So, and Keenan Allen, of course, even though I like Derek Carr.
Keenan Allen's a stud. Yeah. Again, who do you trust on the Raiders outside of Waller? It's kind of tricky. Where are you going to get those points from? Josh Jacobs' health up in the air. I'm not sure what we're going to get out of him for the rest of the year. He doesn't look right.
You know what I got to say, too? The guy that John Gruden called T.O., Brian Edwards, he called him. He runs like T.O., he plays like T.O. Yeah, these receivers for the Raiders have not been, very, other than Ruggs, he had a couple nice plays. They haven't really shown up. Brian, I need more out of Brian Edwards, the T.O. that John Gruden knows him to be. Because this is what a night to show out against a good secondary for the Chargers. Asante Samuel Jr. is going to be playing too.
I'm looking at the chat right now, you guys, and there's so many 0-17 comments. And Adam was slaughtered, 2 weeks ago for saying this?
No, give me more credit. Before the season started.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't like that.
He said it would be delightful. That was his.
I said it would be a great storyline.
It wasn't like
it would be
he
an
said
amazing storyline.
Yeah, it would.
Honestly.
Storyline.
Like, look, I mean, if we're being honest here, if we're being honest, you're looking for like the team and the players to grow individually. That's all you're looking for, coaches included. And you're not really looking at the win-loss column. So what's the difference between 4-13 and 0-17? I'm just saying it's a great storyline.
At least we could look forward to draft picks. That's all you can say at this point. It's painful. But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope you have a fabulous Monday. Tomorrow we will be back, same time, same place. So come right back and hang out with us here on the Morning Woodward Show. This has been Woodward Sports.